Hello, 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 everyone. This is your girl Shanidra with Beyond the Cover. Yes, where you will discover exactly what it is and what it's going to be. Now, as you can see on me, I have my Amour to Classy boutique dress to impress. Yes. So, as you know, the fashion show is going on August the 6th at 6 p.m. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. So, if you haven't gotten your tickets, contact me either on LinkedIn, YouTube, or on Facebook at Shanidra Matthews. Or you can go to the website located down below at cportraitsmagazine.com to contact me to get your tickets. So, that's all I have to let you guys know on the fashion show. We're going to get right to it. As I told you, the Beyond the Cover will only be for you to discover exactly what it is and what it's going to be. So we'll have our More to Class C on TV show and another one, as you know, for sure. But on today, when I say we must pray and obey the Almighty. Now, before I break it down, as you can see in front of me, I have this wonderful mug. Yes. Guess what this mug says? It will help you with success. It says, dream big, work hard, and make it happen. Well, we have these big dreams that we see that seem like it's above and beyond us, and we're like, okay, I'm excited. La di da di da. Nah. It's all good, because we want it. We're going to try to work hard for it, and we're going to make it happen. But in the process of making it happen, we have things happening. So while things are happening, we still have to have faith. Oh, well, what is faith, Shanidra? As I told you guys, we must have our journals because had this question asked to me because, I always just believe that faith is just having faith in my father. Now, that's easy because I know for a fact that my father is going to do what he tell me he going to do. So, with that being said, I don't have to, worry about being led astray with my father. But it's having the confidence in myself. And that's where I have to work on with my faith is having the confidence and faith in myself. And knowing that if God is putting this for me or putting this on me, he never gives you more than you can bear. So I know it seems unfair, but he never gives you more than you can bear. So what is the definition of faith? Well, it was interesting when I looked up the definition of faith, it had two different definitions. So the first definition, it says complete trust or confidence in someone or something. That was the first one. But then the second one says strong belief in God. In God, strong belief in God. That's the second definition of faith. If you Google it, that's what it says. It says strong belief in God or doctrines of religion based on spiritual apprehension rather than proof. So, what does apprehension mean? I know you're wondering, like she's throwing out these big words. What does apprehension mean? Well, apprehension had two different definitions. Now, I mean, totally different, like the opposite of one another. So it's a mindset thing also. We have to fix our mindset, and that's what I'm working on now. As I break it down for y'all, I'm working on it now. Apprehension means this is the first definition it gives you if you Google it. It says anxiety or fear that something bad or unpleasant will happen. So, again, the second definition of faith that says strong belief in God or doctrines of religion based on spiritual apprehension rather than proof. Well, again, it says apprehension. The first definition of apprehension is anxiety or fear that something bad or unpleasant will happen. Okay, that's the first definition of apprehension. Now, let me break it down because these have apprehension has two totally different definition, which just puzzled my understanding. I was like, what? You know. But the second definition says understanding and grasp, meaning that you understand something, you grasp something, you recognize it, you're aware, your discernment. You know, that's the second definition of apprehension. It's the same word, but it has two totally different definitions, meaning you can either have anxiety over what's not seen and worry, or be uneased or concerned about what's to come, or you can understand the plan and grasp and recognize and be aware of what's to come and what it comes with. You know, we see the big picture, we see the picture that God gives us, and we're like, oh, I'm excited. Thank you so much, Lord. You're just gonna give me this, and like he's like, no. Now I gave you this big vision, and it's beyond you, sweetheart. So you're gonna have to work hard, and you're gonna have to make it happen. Now you're like, oh, I'm willing, I'm ready to make it happen, Lord. I mean, that's nothing. You want me to make it happen? Okay, I'll do whatever you say. You know, I will pray and obey the Almighty. Okay, he said that's what you say. But we need to put that faith in action, sweetheart. We need to put it in action. Like you tell everyone you want that action. I want action. He said, don't only be hearers of my words, but be doers also. Faith without works is dead. So it's easy to say that, you know, we're going to have faith and all of this stuff. But when 50 million things hit you at one time and you're on a dime, I'm just like, but they hit you all at one time and you're like, okay, I'm dealing with this. Oh, you still want me to do all of these things? Oh, and not complain. Because he said, do everything without grumbling and complaining. Well, you know, it's easier said than done when you've been run, you know, all around, and you're not stopping to uh, pray and obey the Almighty. Sometimes we need to, you know, slow it down so we can be found and he can help us. Now, today we will be in Hebrews, the 11th chapter, starting at the first verse. Now, we're going to go into whenever God stops me. I don't know what we're going to. Just have faith that he knows what we're doing. So, the title of Hebrews, the 11th chapter, verse 1, is faith in action. Now, faith is confidence. Confidence. See, I'm confident in my Father, but he wants me to be confident that, you know, if I'm confident in him, then I should be confident in myself. But see, sometimes we have the Moses moments. Like he's telling us to speak and all this stuff. And we're like, but you know, I have this speech problem and all that. You're like, didn't I give you that mouth? Didn't I give you that mouth? Therefore, I expect you to use it, sweetheart. When you are a part of me, you will use your mouth. But he did set up Aaron to, you know, help him out. But we have no excuses. Like he told Moses, like, who are you talking to? Who do you think you are talking to? Don't get me confused, sweetheart. Who are you talking to? I gave you that mouth. So you don't come to me telling me nothing. You just gonna do what I say. Period. Now, you better have confidence in knowing that if I tell you to do it, then I know that you can do it. He's the creator. So, as you know. Now, faith is confidence in what we hope for. So I'm hoping that this fashion show is going to go awesome. And assurance about what we do not see. Now, right now, I'm not seeing it, but I know what I'm hoping for. So, as you know, I must go. This is what the ancients were commended for. God commended the ancients for their faith. By faith, we understand that the universe was formed at God's command. Now, you don't understand that the universe that you want to speak to was, let me say exactly what it says. By faith, we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen is not made out of what was visible. The universe wasn't visible at that time. He commanded it. Woo, thank you. He commanded it. So that's why faith is beyond sight. Now, by faith, Abel brought God a better offering than Cain did. By faith, he was commended as righteous when God spoke well of his offerings, and by faith, Abel still speaks even though he is dead. Basically, the whole thing with Cain and Abel was Cain gave his best and let God bless because he gave his best. See, Abel wanted to give God whatever. Wow. Abel wanted to give God whatever. And he expected to be blessed also with just giving God just whatever that he did not want. Ooh-wee. So, must move forward. Verse 5. By faith, Enoch was taken from this life, so that he did not experience death. He could not be found because God had taken him away. For before he was taken, he was commended as one who pleased God. And without faith, it is impossible to believe God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. By faith, Noah, when warned about things not yet seen, in holy fear, built an ark to save his family. Now, Noah, we know about Noah and how he built the ark and how long it took and all that, but he didn't even know all the ins and outs of why God had him to build this big old ark. So Noah had to have the faith to know that, okay, I don't see all the ins and outs, but I know what God is all about. Lord, just help me through this. So by faith, Noah, when warned about things not yet seen, in holy fear, built an ark to save his family. By his faith, he condemned the world and became heir of righteousness that is in keeping with faith. By faith, Abraham, when called to go to a place he would later receive as his inheritance, obeyed and went, even though he did not know where he was going. By faith, he made his home in the promised land like a stranger in a foreign country. He lived in tents, as did Isaac and Jacob. Anyways, now I can see. Now I can see very clearly. So, as you know, as we are on this faith journey, we have to go beyond sight. As we seen with Cain and Abel, as we seen with Noah, Noah had no clue at all. He just knew God told him that he had to build his ark. Now, wasn't nothing going on extreme at that time, but he knew what God had told him to do, and he just did it, regardless of what it looked like, regardless of whatever. And now I understand his plan, because even in my situation, I understand why God is like, what are you scared of? Because you've been doing this faith walk for a while now. So I expect nothing but greatness at this point. You should be beyond where you are now, if we want to break it down. So, with that being said, I took this faith journey 7 years ago with 2 children. I had an experience yesterday with 2 young ladies that is starting out at the very age that I started out. OMG. And they are looking up to me. And it seems crazy, but now I understand. So, with that being said, when I started this journey, I did not know all the ins and outs. I did not know what it was all about. I started out in photography, and along the way, that's how I grew to the things that I'm doing now. So, faith is beyond sight, and we must believe that it's He. See, it's beyond our strength. We're looking at our strength like, God, I can't do all of this, but God is like, what? When you are weak, I am strong, sweetheart. You belong, sweetheart. So when you are apart, we have no excuses, period. Period. Let me tell you, we have absolutely no excuses because he's there. Even with Joseph, it says, and God was with him. Everything, and God was with him. Sometimes we do lose sight, but we have to keep the faith. Beyond sight, beyond what we're seeing, it's starting to look crazy. And that's the same thing it did when Moses told them that God was going to deliver them from Egypt. Everything seemed like it was falling apart. But everything seemed like it was falling apart. But it was like, oh, it got harder. Why is it getting harder when God said he was going to deliver us? Oh, Moses, they started getting angry with Moses and all of this stuff. They started getting angry with Moses. And you should have never said that. Now he's making it harder on us. Now he expects us to do the same work without this and that. They didn't understand. They didn't understand. They was like, why would you tell us this? And now it's harder. Why would it be harder if he's about to do? But we do not know. It's beyond sight. He still delivered them, period. He delivered them out of Egypt by parting the Red Sea. Who could see that coming? Nobody. Who would have understood why Moses had to build an ark? No, Noah didn't even understand. But he just did what the plan was. Period. Faith in action, beyond sight, beyond what you see, beyond the enemy. Fear is the false evidence appearing to be real. So we cannot do things based on how we feel. Thank you, Lord. We have to base it off what is real. And we know God is real. So therefore, he is a man that has never lied. He has all the proof, period. Period. He delivered them like he said he was. Yes, it got harder. Before Joseph became, ruler, before everything had to go through him and everybody had to bow down to him, he had to go through some stuff so he can grow up to that part that God was preparing him for. So it may seem hard. It may seem like a lot. It may seem unfair because that seemed unfair. Joseph was just doing what God told him to do. Even when, she tried to, come on to him, he still ran away. He did what was right. And you would be like, well, why would he have to? Because that's just part of it. That's part of the process to get us blessed, period. So we shouldn't stress in the mess because we will be blessed. All things work together for our good. Now we must have that understood so that we can be good on this one. But yes, wow. So faith is beyond sight. That's what you need to know on today on this show. I did not know how it was going to go. I had a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. Recently became a single mom at that time and didn't know nothing. Nobody else had took this journey, so all I could rely on was God. But I decided and took that day, 7 years ago, to, okay, God, you gave me this vision. I know that I don't know what's going on, but I know that you do, and I trust you. So I've trusted him through these 7 years, and he has grown me up through these 7 years. I had to go through the process, and I'm still going through the process. I'm learning every day. That's why I have to pray and obey the Almighty. So we must have faith beyond sight. We must understand that there's going to be 50 million things, and we cannot complain. Every time I try to complain, trust and believe, take it from me, honey, because I have, complained. And, and God is like, what are you complaining for? I mean, what are you complaining for? I'm like, all of this. He was like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. Because he's building me up. He's growing me up. So, Girl Get Up will be coming up very soon. We will have a Girl Get Up TV session coming up very soon. So, stay tuned for that. Again, the fashion show, as you know, will be on August the 6th at 6 p.m. So you definitely want to be there. It's a benefit fashion show for the Beyond the Cover Academy so that our young kids can live out their God-given gifts and they can be prosperous in doing what God has them to do. And they won't be confused. So that's all I have to say on today. We must have faith and put faith in action. Beyond what we see, we must pray and obey the Almighty. Have a great day.